I got a chance to go and see it the last time I was here.
Well, now it has flowers. It does.
Oh, all right. Y'all done a great job. Y'all are doing a great job.
Do we want to do it?
Yes, yes. So now we're in the midst of trying to find the right principle. So we're working hard on that right now. That idea I've been working at, so any phone call you can put in would help. Dinner. So, Steve Holmes is terrible. So Steve tells me, I'm going to go watch him because I hear Rosario Dawson is playing the Lord's that was his motivation.
I'm going to say some Republicans don't like that. I'm kidding.
Stop.
I'm going to say,
like you said, but I do.
but this guy
loves them.
Hey man, am I blocking your view with the Danzantes? Am I blocking your view, bro? You good? You want to slip up here so you can get him? Come on up. Come on up.
Get in here. I'm just gonna photobomb.
Just dance, all right. Buenos días, bienvenido a toda la raza. Thanks so much for being here. Cammy, come over here. We're gonna get you to the proper introductions for your MC of this ceremony. Pero de veras, muchas gracias por estarnos acompañando. We thank you. Who went to the movie yesterday? Pretty good. I mean, there's so many people here who are part of that movement, that were out there, you know, boycotting Safeway right down the street when Safeway used to be right here on 12th Avenue, reminiscing with Pancho, with so many people from Teatro Libertad, Teatro Serpentino. I think the movie truly kind of brought together the fact that this community has been so active and so powerful across Arizona and across the United States, policies for Latinos and other, you know, working people throughout the United States. So, de veras, que viva la gente. Fuerte el aplauso. Gracias a Chucho y María y su grupo, el Calculi que está aquí con nosotros hoy, que nos ha estado acompañando para esa jornada espiritual and the spiritual journey that we take every year to honor Cesar Chavez and to honor the work that he's given to not just the Chicano movement, but the civil rights movements across the world. So muchísimas gracias. Thank you for getting up early on a Saturday, making it down here. We appreciate it. No se les olvide, there's a water leak here, so you don't want to be stepping out. I know water attracts people because it's kind of dangerous and stuff, but stay away from the water and the puddles, and don't let your kids start jumping up and down. They could fall and hurt themselves, okay? Andale pues, right now I'm going to introduce, first of all, por favor, a nuestros líderes espirituales. I know that this is usually not, you know, all customary, but I want a big round of applause for their leading us today in the marcha una vez más. 14 years of doing this and the continuation against all the policies from the legislature in this state. Ahorita quiero presentar your board member from TUSD, you know, newly elected. Is it newly elected? Yeah, he's still in the honeymoon phase, but doing some great things with the board and the superintendent, and he's going to take over the mic so he can welcome you on behalf of the Cesar Chavez Coalition. Please welcome Camilo Juárez. Vámonos.
Buenos dias, good morning. For all the folks in the audience with cameras, I want to say this. Cesar Chavez said, there is no such thing as a perfect political system. There is only perfect participation. And this is participation out here. All parties aside, it's just people. So I want to hand over the mic to the Calculi to say a couple words. But before I do that, I want to remind you guys to be careful. You know, Pueblo High School had a little bit of a problem a couple years ago with you know, whatever it was. Pero they said, we got a water leak. And I said, that ain't gonna happen. And they said, we'll make sure our crews are out of the way. And they got out of the way. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, in terms of safety, is all the people on the east side here, over here, where Superintendent Sanchez is, Dr. Sanchez, if we can lead us and move some of the folks over here towards the gazebo, please. If we can just move people safely to that area. Because as we march out, we're gonna march out through the southeast entrance over here, where our security people are gonna lead us out. So if we can gently move some folks out there, we're gonna wanna get you guys out of the water there. And speaking of water, I'm gonna hand it over to our Calculi leaders, our spiritual leaders, to say a few words. Maria.
Ometeo, Wali Tonali, Mishmansiko,
no año que no me cayó sin ni canplaca, no toca María, ni chane vai se voy, cacasewa, tosai kaba y Lopez Cosio, ni Calculi, Teo Shikali, ni Oeme, Tabanaka. Say good morning. Thank you all of you for allowing us to be here. Thank you for the invite. It feels really good to be a part of this movimiento, a part of this esfuerza, a part of this coming together and creating together as a people. I want to say Tlazo Kamati to the Chaneque, the danza grupo. The name is Xochipilli Santeo. And I want to say thank you to all of you for coming out here this morning. Gracias al Padre Sol, a nuestra Madre Tierra. I want to acknowledge that fire that we have in the center of the circle, que le llamamos Xitocli. Es una energía que nos guía durante este año. Y Xitocli quiere representar la justicia. And this is a year where there's going to be an abundance of that justice, abundance of that truth and of that transparency. And that justice, that will that's in that fire, that's in this way of life, in this danza, each and every one of those pasos, and every time we take a breath, we're creating harmony. And life is about harmony. And that voluntad and the will that Cesar Chavez had, and all the people that have that when we engaged in a struggle together, we move forward and we draw on each other's strengths, that fuerza comes from that fire. It comes from that justicia. It comes from everybody that came before. All the work that they've ever done is the foundation of who we are today. So these ways of life, these ways of being is what's allowed us to survive. It's what brings that love and that pride into our heart. So I want to thank all of you for continuing that. I want to thank the danzantes for continuing that, for everybody, your voices and everything that you know and that you feel and that you have in your heart, in your mind, in your body, and in your spirit, that's going to allow us to live forever as a people, as Nican Tlaca, as people, original inhabitants of these lands. And we all have that right to life and for love and for dignity and for respect. So I would just want to acknowledge you for all of that. And I want to just say Tlazo Kamati to all the abuelos, all the ancestors that came before us, that voluntad, that esfuerza, and we ask for that guidance today. We ask for our brothers and sisters here, our familia, to be able to engage in that harmony, to engage in that creation of that beauty and of that vision that we have for our ancestors. So I hope all of you have a good day. I want to say Tlazo Kamati again to all of creation.
Lazo Kamati, thank you. We want to do a couple, quick housekeeping things. People have asked, where are the restrooms? The restrooms are over here. This building that has the Be Kind thing. The blue doors are our men's and ladies' restroom. In honor of our custodians that will be cleaning that up. Be kind. What I would say is, we've had a shift in TUSD, and I want to acknowledge Alberto Siqueiros, who's here from a neighboring school district. Alberto, can you raise your hand, please? Ahí está, another superintendent. Gracias, Alberto, for all the work that you and Jackie do in this community. So I want to bring up Dr. H.T. Sanchez. H.T., will you come up here, please? H.T. is our relatively new superintendent, but he's been in the mix and he's been rocking and rolling with us, and one of the hardest working men in the business over here. So I want to acknowledge Dr. Sanchez and all the sacrifices that he makes for his family. He didn't get a chance to watch the movie with us last night, but he's going to with his family. And those of you who saw the movie last night understand how much sacrifice we do for our families, but we sacrifice our families for. So I want to acknowledge Dr. Sanchez and all the work he's doing and missing his babies too.
I'd like to welcome everybody here to Pueblo High School. As superintendent of Tucson Unified School District, it's with a lot of pride that when Cam asked if we could begin the march here and renew a tradition, I told him, I said, whatever we're doing at Pueblo that day, we'll take it off the calendar to make sure that we can start the march here. And so I'd like to acknowledge our board members. Everybody knows Cam, and I'd like to acknowledge Ms. Foster. She's here in the front. And I'm looking around to see if our board president's made it here yet. She's like me, she has little ones, and so sometimes I know Ms. Grajado will be here soon, so when you see her, please acknowledge her for her good work and everything that she's done. Well, I'll keep my comments brief. As I was standing here, if you're Pueblo faculty, if you'll raise your hand, if you're Pueblo faculty, if we can acknowledge them, please. I was visiting with one of our culturally relevant curriculum teachers as I was asking about what was occurring with the ceremony, and I was educated that it was about the sun. And so, as you know, anything to do with the sun, it means a new day and a new beginning. And so, as I'm standing here, you're standing here, we're at Pueblo, we're about to begin the march. And this is, for us, I look forward to and hope we all see and embrace this as a new beginning for what we can do together in our district, in our community, and most definitely beginning here at Pueblo. So I hope that you will all acknowledge this as a new beginning, that you will all acknowledge this as a new opportunity. And so as we prepare to march today, I did my homework to understand the gravity of all that has occurred here before, and then that at a point in time, you were told that we couldn't march from Pueblo. So I want to say, as long as I'm here, this will be something that we'll do, and this will be something that TUSD will embrace. So as I mentioned, I wanted to keep my remarks very brief, and so I want to say whatever I can do to serve you, whatever I can do to serve this community in however capacity I can, I want to be open to doing that. So please know that my board members, the ones that are here, myself, that we stand ready, willing, and able to do what we need to do to elevate this community, to elevate this cause, and to elevate all of our children. Thank you.
I want to thank the Vice Principal as well. Frank, can you raise your hand real quick? Frank was here at about 7 this morning opening the doors and everybody could get here. And I was telling him, be there at 8, bro, it's Chicano time. So, but he was there bright and early and made sure everything was ready for us to go. Thank you, Frank. Thank you for all the work that you're doing over here too. I want to take a moment to acknowledge all of the different groups that are here. Of course, we got Congressman Grijalva coming all the way in from Yuma, from the premiere in Yuma last night. He viene en friega, but he's observing the speed limit. But I want to acknowledge Ruben Reyes in the back over there. I also want to acknowledge all the work that Ruben's done for the coalition for the last 13, 14 years now. One of the founding members, but was the glue with this coalition for this whole time. You know, and we've had upwards of 10,000 people at this march, but it's not always the numbers, it's the corazon, right? So speaking of corazon, we got a group of individuals up here holding our coalition banner. Of course, the Chicano over here forgot the duct tape. So when you got duct tape, luckily you got people, and the people are holding up our banner. Please raise your hand, guys. You guys are awesome. This is a young group. Mi Familia Vota, Fast for Families, Holiday Coalition. These young people have been taking up the positions with us in the coalition and in community organizations. If you are turning 18 years old or approaching that age, I encourage you to register to vote. I encourage you to work with Mi Familia Vota as volunteers. They're going around doing work, registering people to vote. Chavez was all about getting people registered to vote, and that's the way we were going to affect change in public policy. So I want to acknowledge Mi Familia Vota. I want to acknowledge the Bus Riders Union, in yellow shirts. Raise your hand, please. I'm not going to do a lot of recognitions the way I did last night. It took forever. But I do want to acknowledge some key groups. There's a lot of people in this community that blog and write stories online about us. Dave Saphir, a lot of other folks that are here that are telling the stories of our community, because sometimes the newspaper won't. And so I'm glad that they're here among us. The other people, of course, that we want to acknowledge are all the students. Raise your hand if you're a student, you're here today, this morning. Pueblo Mecha started us this morning with the Rose Garden, and it was a beautiful thing to be able to be part of that. So with that, we want to dedicate all of this love, all of this passion that we're putting together to the estudiantes. And we're going to have more of them speak tonight, or I'm sorry, this afternoon at the Chavez rally at the end of this march. I want to acknowledge all the people that support all of our elected officials, like Andres Cano, Keith Bagwell, Vida. There's a lot of people in this room, Laura Jen, A lot of folks that do those kind of supports. Ana Karina, there's so many people in this room that support the people that are trying to make those changes for you all. So with that, I'm going to bring up our first elected, and as he's coming up here, I want to acknowledge all the people that are stepping up to the plate and running for office as well. Give them a hand, because it's a lot of work. I want to acknowledge TEA. Richard, you want to come down here? Say a couple words, please. Supervisor Richard Elias, people. Really gracias. But I want to acknowledge the communication workers, CWAs here, and Richard's going to do a lot of that. But I want to acknowledge my union, SCIW, and TEA. SCIU, híjole, that's what happens when you don't sleep.
Good morning, everybody. Buenos dias. Let's hear it. Come on, buenos dias. There we go. All right. I especially want to thank everybody for coming out today to keep alive the memory and the work of Cesar Chavez. And I thought about that a lot last night in the movie, because there were so many people who were involved, from the campesinos in the fields to all those people who worked out in the urban areas, in the cities, and became volunteers, helped with the boycott. Special mention for Nancy McCoviac-Gallen, who passed away this December, an absolute warrior for the United Farm Workers of America, friends of many people who were there back in the day working on that boycott. Let's give Nancy a big round of applause, even though she's not here to hear it. It's very important that we do this, because those volunteers made all the difference in the world. One of the elected officials that didn't get mentioned yet this morning, Andrea de Alessandro, she's always here with us. Let's give her a nice round of applause for coming out and being here with us all the time. That work that we talk about with unions, with environmental groups, with civil rights groups, with people who make a real difference every day and work hard to change America into a better place, that work is absolutely important. All of the messages that Chavez had, absolutely important to all of us. But there's one that's the most important of all. And that was the message of nonviolence opposition to oppression. Nonviolent opposition to oppression. We must stand up, but we cannot act in violence. And we have to speak out against the wars that are taking place all over the world every day. We need to stand up for people who are being destroyed by the evilness of war, no matter who's conducting that war. We have to have that strength deep inside our hearts. Please be strong on that issue every day and recognize that's a big part of why we're out here today. Opposition to violence, opposition to the killing, opposition to the guns that kill people needlessly every single day in our community. We have to put a stop to it. It's within our power. And small groups of people make a big difference in making social change happen. Small groups of people make a big difference in making social change happen. Please do not forget that. Live with that every day. Be an enemy of violence everywhere you see it. Stand up strong for people. Be the first one in the room to stand up for our immigrant populations, because they're beautiful people and they're assets to America. As Joe Biden said this week, they're already Americans. They're already Americans. Thank you all for listening today. Have a great march. Have fun. Be safe. Thank you.
Give it up for Richard Elias, Supervisor, District 5. So, Richard makes a really good point, and that's the other point that we're making, with all the folks that follow us, whether they're with us or not with us, but it's always that, it's not about the masses, right? It's not about the masses, but really, more importantly, it's about this one quote, and I know that we want to march, so we got a couple more speakers and then we're going to get going, but remember this, Cesar said this, preservation of one's own culture does not require contempt or disrespect for other cultures. And that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about nonviolent unions. Oh, you guys want to walk? I can see because nobody's clapping. We're talking about nonviolent union, and I don't mean the labor union, those are good too, but I mean all of us working together. So with that, I'm going to bring up one of the key people involved in giving the city of Tucson a new holiday, a holiday for Cesar Chavez, a holiday we've been working for 14 years so far. And we're going to keep working till we get that state holiday. Councilwoman Regina Romero, Ward 1, please.
Good morning. I just want to thank you all
for being here, for waking up on a Saturday and marching with us. It's important to keep in mind why we do this, ¿verdad? Why it's important to dedicate a Cesar Chavez holiday, why it's important that we continue marching, not because we just want to recognize the life and legacy of a wonderful man, which is part of why we do this, but it's because we still have work to do. We still have work to do. We march and we rally and we continue organizing because there are many things we need to fight for. And as Cami said, it needs to be, and Richard, it needs to be in a non-violent way. We practice with our shoes. We practice with our votes. Porque sí podemos. You know, Dolores Huerta coined the phrase sí se puede, because when she was trying to organize in California and Arizona, people would tell her, no se puede, Dolores. It's too much. These people are too powerful. They have the president, everything is against you. And she would say, ¿cómo que no se puede? Sí se puede. Sí se puede. And we still can do it. We need to fight and walk and march and vote for education. We need to fight and walk and march for immigration reform. We need to fight and march and walk and vote for women's rights, for the right to organize. Así que tenemos que seguir adelante, tenemos que seguir marchando y tenemos que seguir creyendo que lo que hacemos es por justicia, justicia a las mujeres, justicia a los emigrantes, justicia a los estudiantes. Así que sí se puede, raza. So let's get ready to march. Y empezamos con lo que Dolores Huerta, we have one more speaker, but con lo que Dolores Huerta nos enseñó, ¿no? Sí se puede. Let's start. Sí se puede. 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 Sí se puede.
And contrary to popular belief, that is not the old chant. All that is us saying in unison that we're moving forward, that we can do it. We can do anything we put our minds to. And with that, I'd like to bring up a little special surprise. Congressman Raul Grijalva, can you move your way up here, please? Come on, Raul, come on up. Come say us, ¿qué quieres? Dice, let's march. Give him my hand. Get up here. Detroit Tigers hat y todo.
Trying to revitalize Detroit by
Part of the
myself.
waters for you, but I know you didn't really want to, but you stand up here.
Let's just start the march, and I mean that. I want to tell you something. Yesterday, I wasn't with a lot of you at the premiere in Tucson. I went to Yuma, donde nació Cesar y murió él también en San Luis. And they had an opening. It was really moving. It was about 60, maybe a little more, men and women that had been with Cesar for those long 5 years during the strike, the great strike and the boycott. And when they were acknowledged, it was really a very, very moving moment. And I think it reminds us, all of us, as Cesar said, now leave it with that, is that sometimes all of us, we look for someone to do everything for us. And what Cesar said, that doesn't exist. The only way things are going to get done, and they're going to get better, and change is going to happen, is when people do it themselves. So thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
We've got the machinists. Raise your hand, machinists, dale gas. We also have jobs with justice. We've got a lot of organizations, and a lot of labor organizations in here. Got a lot of mentor students. So here's what we're gonna do, folks. First and foremost, we're gonna make sure we're taking care of each other. Look over to your side, to your left, to your right, and say hello to the person next to you. Somos comunidad. Ask them if they had some water. Ask them if they got sunblock on. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move the danzantes to the front, which are already at the front. We're gonna move the moms with these strollers. Any moms with strollers, we're gonna move you guys to the front, behind the banner, please. We're gonna move any elected officials that wanna walk at the front of the march to the front too. And then we gotta make sure that we're on the way out. We have some people giving out water bottles. If you don't already have water, and I imagine that you do, that water is going to be available to you up front. And then we're going to have some fruit and some water at the park when we get there. We also have some people following in case somebody gets a little heat stroke and they need a break. You know, we have TPD along with us, so they're going to be making sure that we're safe walking on our route. We also have people in orange vests. Please listen to these people in orange vests. They're there to ensure your safety. These are peacekeepers. John Miles is in charge at the front. John and Nancy McCoviak that Richard mentioned before, they took care of us. And John's still taking care of us today, so please make sure you listen to those folks. We're going to move out the gates that you came in, so if you can get the banners and the moms with strollers out that way. These restrooms are going to be closed after 10 o'clock. This area here is going to be closed after 10 o'clock, so make sure you take your stuff with you, because the construction crews are going to come in and fix the water leak. And then, the school parking lot will close its doors at 2 o'clock, so make sure you pick up your car by 2 o'clock. Okay? There's going to be some vans moving people from the park, shuttling them back here to pick up your car. I encourage you to go back to the park if you can. Thank you so much for everything that you guys are doing for us. I'm going to have Raul Aguirre close us up as we move out the gates.
Just go ahead and start moving towards to begin the march. Please, let's move the banners. And don't forget, if you got strollers, go to the front of the line. It's a lot easier to maneuver all the kids. Muchas gracias. Qué bueno que están aquí. Don't forget, there's a lot of people out there doing some great work. René Bernal is running for TUSD. He's out there getting signatures and other people that can help the cause, so make sure that you support him. And remember, this is about unifying our city. Continue to make sure that we're doing great things for our state and for our country in honor of the memory of Cesar and all his work. ¡Vámonos! ¡Que viva! ¡Que
I don't know.
That's so scary. That's usually their happiness. Where are they? You just tell me how I do. I was thinking if I didn't see you, we would stop by the house and pick you up.
I never really talked to her about it, but
oh, they wanted to be in the front.
Give me something.
Strollers and children up here behind the main banner.
Hi, Big. Okay. No, they started watching. And Julio. Hey, how you doing? Okay, a couple more peacekeepers. ¡Que viva John Miles! ¡Viva, viva! Okay, a few more peacekeepers. I'm good.
Get money and scholarships that you provide the winning team.
Okay, Larry. Later. In October, I'm doing have a meeting to be on.
That's all we need.
Oh, okay.
Probably be in right.
Well, they're getting paid. They're helping us out. They're not charging the mark.
They told me to stay at the end. I have to be with Victoria. Deal? Pleasure. Hi, Laura. Hi, how are you? Good, how's you?
Yes. Yes.
Laura, you called me yesterday, but I couldn't answer. I don't remember why, but...
Oh, is this what you were doing a lot later today?
Oh, okay. I may or may not be able to.
They just expect people to do it. They didn't actually get it or via didn't actually come up with a chance. They didn't actually find any information. They're like, and I'm like, what is
I just wear like... There you go.
signature yet? Are you a registered voter?
There they are. I mean, you're not in high school. No, I'm not. Okay. That's hard. We're telling you to slow it down a little bit. Where are the other girls?
They're all spread out.
On this side or on this side? I'm gonna get my camera.
I really just talked to you.
Yeah, you can tell. Wait, now you break that. Oh, yeah. Before I see the little baby now, before.
Oh.